All right, so next to the bass rig. Okay, multiple things. Okay, so we started out with this bass, but we weren't using it for bass. We were using it for our portable organ setup that we used to have. Well, we still have it, but it's a Roland VK7. I'll put a picture. And so this bass amp, we would play through that. But we had upgraded to a PV amp. We had a PV amp for the bass amp, and we still do have it, but it's around the back. I'll try to put a picture in here. But for this, before the PV amp, somebody blew the speaker, which will remain nameless. All right. And this bass was actually one of my father's old basses. You know, but it actually didn't work, and we had to get it fixed at a repair shop. Actually, the Guitar Center in Boston and on Mass Ave does repairs. So we got it repaired, and it was cheaper than buying a brand new one. Well, you know, got the job done, you know. My father bought this guitar. Okay, guitar. He bought this guitar online somewhere. It's supposed to look like a Telecaster. It is not a Telecaster. It is very light, but like I said, it gets the job done, you know. Obviously we have a pretty cheap stand there. We have the ultimate support stand right here. What's cool about the stand is when you take it up, just boom. You don't have to take off any strap. And that's what's pretty unique about that, you know. So this is our guitar amp. We don't have a guitar player that plays every Sunday. You know, we have people that can play guitar, but they're on under the instruments. So we kind of prioritize those other ones. Sadly, we play 4 out of the 5 major gospel instruments. So now we have our keyboards. Oh man, this thing, the Yamaha SO8, man, it is an underrated keyboard, honestly. Like, it has got the job done. But like any keyboard, you have to do your homework, or else you're not going to get the full benefit of it. You know, we've had this for years, even when we were even before. This was my personal keyboard even before we were a church, but I kind of just donated it to the church. This keyboard right here is the Korg Triton LE. It's probably a little bit more well-known than the SO8, but it is a great keyboard. You know, it's a great top keyboard. The action is not where it needs to be. It's definitely synth action. So it's a great top keyboard, and it has some good sounds. Some of the keyboard sounds are a little bit outdated. It has like the more of a 90s feel, but they're great. It's great. You know, you got your romance piano, you got all the ballad layers, all of that, you know, and all that good stuff. So they definitely complement each other well. And if needed, we can always MIDI in, you know, sometimes. Like lately I've been using like MK Sensation. I've been practicing with that. So, you know, if we need to, we can always just MIDI in, and we just kind of put the laptop right there. You know, if somebody has a rack, they can bring it in. Or if we're having a special event and we hire like a keyboardist, they kind of just bring their board so they can be more comfortable. So it all works out for everyone. But if they don't have anything, we want to have some, and that is the goal. You know, we want to have stuff. Not that people have to play, but that if they do come and there's nothing, you know, they didn't bring anything, or, you know, there's, all right, at least I know that Beulah has like a good setup, and that is the vision. It's not we don't want to just make it about impressing people, but we wanted to make it convenient for every musician that comes, because I do feel that if the gear looks good, you'll respect it more probably. And you just, you know, it adds to the experience. You can be so fluent in playing keys, but if it doesn't come through good speakers, good connections, a good board, if everything is not good, it's not gonna be at the level where we need it to be. You know, we have, yeah. So we have, the M gear, sustain pedal, you know those. We have another sustain pedal for that, but like I said, that's a top keyboard, so we don't always, it's more like auxiliary stuff, like hits or major hits if we need it. This is not a mic for the house. This is just a talkback mic, and like I said, I'll go over how to connect those, or how I connect those using an analog mixer. Yeah. So there's that. I'll show you the other side of it. And one thing you'll notice about me is I hate wires. Like, I hate when wires look sloppy. I hate when music looks sloppy. Like I said, if you feel good, you'll play good. I believe that. It's just a mentality you bring, just being organized, being on time, being proper. It adds to the whole thing of being proper and professional. Oh, and by the way, for our, if we're just using an aux cord, we also string this around there. We just had the dongle adapter if you have an iPhone. Simple setups for, if you want to use clicks from your phone, keep everything pretty simple. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. The drums. Yep, these are the drums. Oh man, if I tell you how much work this took, it may seem simple, but like I said, we literally just started off with shells, the shells. Everything else was added after, except we started off with the shells, this stand, because obviously these are rack toms, and in that stand. That was it. That was it. We literally did upgrades to everything else. All right, so obviously, like what we did for the other, the snare that came with this kit, we put a new head on it. We put an Evans head on it. I've been thinking, and that's another thing too. Should I go to Remo? Or should we go to Remo, or should we go or stay with Evans? But we'll get to that. So this is a snare that we bought. The Tama SLP. It's a 14 inches by 8 inches, like one of those big old DWs. But it's a Tama, and this thing has crack, and it's loud. But we have Evans HD Dry. I believe it's a 2-ply head. It has the vent holes. I like it. I definitely like this. I don't discriminate. Some people, they hate 2-ply, but I feel like 1-ply has its place, especially in a bigger venue. But like a 2-ply head, like I feel like smaller churches tend to have them, because it kind of muffles the sound, especially when somebody doesn't know how to tune. We all remember how when we used to have toilet paper or paper towels and tape on the drums instead of moon gels and stuff. But the thing about 2-plies, I feel like when you have 2-plies, you don't need all that stuff. We literally have one piece of tape right there, like on the floor tom, and it sounds great. I don't know if it's tuned right now, but I mean, it's probably not tuned right now, but definitely probably needs to be retuned, but I'll hit it for you so you can hear it. You could use a little bit more tuning. And these heads have been on here for like a year and a half, about probably almost 2 years. So considering, and that's another thing too, small church budget, you want to get heads that are durable, that are not going to have those dents. Like these dents, like, all right, to take it even a step further, we bought this one. when we got these two. But we got these two first from someone who was done. Shout out to my boy Andrew Turner. He was done with the heads. He didn't want them. He's thrown them away. So we just kind of took them for our kit because they still had the stock D-drums heads. And yeah, that's another thing. This set is a D-drum reflex. I don't know if you can see that clearly, but it's a D-drum, excuse me, a D-drum reflex. And this is a great kit. It's made out of alder wood, so it has a very unique sound. For some people that they don't like that because, you know, everyone's used to like the maple or, you know, like that traditional sound. But I think it gives it character when you can just close your eyes and almost tell what kind of kit you're playing. And then also the acoustical environment is, we have high ceilings. So, you know, that's another thing. If we can kind of control things, that's good. Like even on the cymbals, we have tape on some of them because you don't want the sound to carry too much, especially when you have a hard hitter. Which brings me to this. I don't know if you can see it, but this is something we made. It is some cheap sound panels. We just got the purple to match the church. We put it together with like the Velcro adhesive thing and we put it like on a presentation paper and then put it on the wall. And it gets the job done. It helps to treat the sound just enough for what we need it for. And then obviously we have the glass, so that definitely treats the sound, you know, to where we need it. I'll show you the other side of the drums just really quickly. Go around it, you know, all that. Look at that. So let me get back over here. Obviously we have that light too. Sometimes we turn down if we have a special event and it just lights up the drums perfectly, just enough, you know. All right, so I'm gonna start with, I said we had the Tama SLP, but I'm gonna start on the cymbals now. So the hi-hat cymbal, it's a Sabian stage. It's Sabian 14-inch stage hi-hats. And these things cut and they sound great. They're not too intrusive, they're not too annoying, they're not too aggressive. It is not just for rock like the Sabian AAX Explosions. I mean, those are good, don't get me wrong, and I like those too, but I kind of like these too, like it better. Maybe I'm just saying that because that's what we have. We got a great deal on these, great deal. Like I said, got to do your research. You can get great stuff, you just have to do your research. And then we got this DW 5000 stand with it in forced steel, almost. We have the Iron Cobra by Tama, the Iron Cobra 200, you know. But so we got this Wuhan 10-inch splash. I think it was under $30. I think it's the best splash under $50 or $60 right now. This thing is great. Put a little bit of tape on it so it doesn't, you know, like, you know, I just wanted a certain sound. You know, not too harsh. Like, yeah, just enough to cut through the mix, but not too loud. And then it is a 10-inch splash. So it's not like an 8, you know. But I wanted it to sound like an 8, but it's cheaper. So I got a bigger one, put tape on it so it can sound more expensive. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. So then we have an 18-inch A-Custom, you know, crash. Yep, this is like the standard for Zildjian right there. Like for church, if you get a Zildjian, you need one crash. For church, get an A-Custom. That's the standard. It's one of the most well-known cymbals by some Zildjian. So right here, first we had an Agrazarian stack. I believe it was about $70 for the whole stack. But the china underneath was smaller and didn't cut as well, and it was cracked. So then when I found a good deal, I got this Wuhan underneath for like $15. Like $15. And it cuts. But then you put the splash on there and you get what you need and nothing more. So it's not annoying. You know, we have Simpad cymbal felts on the tops. Got the stock ones on the bottom. You know, these are, for the most part, PDP. Yeah, PDP stands. This is a DW hi-hat stand. This is a Tama kick. So as you can see, we're not endorsed, so we don't discriminate. Yeah. So going even further, we just got this. At first, we were using the B8X ride, and that cymbal is good. Like, we had the B8X series with the free ozone crash that comes with it at first, and then we got an XSR 14-inch, and we put it like right here, like where this was. We had the 16-inch B8X right here, 20-inch B8X. We had the old China here. So for the most part, we just upgraded, but the same kind of a setup, similar. And we had the ozone that was over here, like the B8 Pro ozone. You know, so we just got bigger cymbals, better, instead of being B8 alloy, it's B20 alloy. So this right here is an AAX raw bell dry ride. I like it because, I mean, I like Sabian rides, and I like Zildjian rides too, but sometimes the bells kind of sound thin. Like, they make it sound like a thinner cymbal. Sometimes you want that bell that's gonna crack, like that cut, but just enough and not too boingy of a cymbal. And this is why I got this one. Well, we got this one. The Sabian AAX raw bell dry ride 20. It's a 21-inch ride, 53 centimeters. It's obviously the new Sabian, but it's just new packaging. It's a brilliant finish, but it's a dry ride, so it's a little bit drier of a sound. It's not as bright as maybe the Explosion. And I like the Explosion, but I think this is a little bit better. And it wasn't too bad compared to like the Legacy and all the other Sabian rides out there that are in the $400 range. Those are a little bit steep, you know. The next, we have the Sweet Crash, 19-inch Sweet Crash. And we bought all this stuff over a period of probably 2.5 years. We're about 2.5 years older right now. So we didn't just buy all of this, you know, all at once, you know. We pitch in, you know, we just little by little by little, you know. Been a long time coming. So the 19-inch Sweet Crash. Some people have told me to put it over there, but as you can see, the splash is right here, and we don't want it to get in the way. And I think, honestly, this sounds better right here. You have a traditional crash over here. You have a little bit more of a modern feel to the right side of it. And we have the EFX right here. A lot of people put a stack right here, but we don't really have room to put this other cymbal or one of the crashes. A lot of people like to have two crashes to the left and then like a stack over here. But for now, you know, we just keep it like this, you know. Once we get a bigger building, you know, then we'll deal with that. So this is the KEFX 18-inch, and it may look a little cracked up, but that's how we bought it. It was cheap. We got it cheap. Good deal on it, but it was a little bit oxidized, and it wasn't perfect, but hey, it was cheap, you know, and who wants to spend full price on cymbals? We did a payment plan for this. We're doing a payment plan for this. We bought this used. We bought that used. That was real cheap. We bought this used. We bought this cheap. We bought this used. So we didn't pay full price at one time for a brand new cymbal. You know? Yeah, like I said, you just got to do your research. Oh! And now to the mics. Look at this. This is the Pile PD mic 78. It looks, and I know what you're saying, it looks just like a Shure SM57. And it sounds like a Shure SM57. If you're not paying attention, you're going to think it's a SM57, honestly. We have one for the talkback mic. We have one for the organ mic, as you'll see. And the snare mic. We were using that overhead at first to mic the drums, but now we just kind of have all these mics, and these are digital reference mics. We kind of use these. The kick is not even mic'd up right now, but we were just kind of using that for the talkback for now. But the thing is, you can hear. We don't mic it necessarily for the front of house to hear it. It's for the in-ears and it's for the live stream. So we don't need to put the kick in it. We don't need to put all of that. Because it is a small space. Like, I can, like, you know, almost jump to in the middle of the sanctuary. Like, you know, but, so yeah, we got those, you know, those came with the mic list. We got all these little things. When we got this snare stand, it came with that holder, and we just kind of put it there. We wanted the set to look professional, to look proper, you know, without spending a fortune. And I know the cymbals, people may think we spent a fortune, but cheap. Expensive but payment plan, expensive but payment plan. You know, we're paying like $27 a month for that one right now. Yeah. Like, there are ways to do it. Like, in 2020, there's no excuse for not having good gear. Even if your church doesn't want to fund it. My church is a new church, didn't always have money for it, but we had to make a way for it to happen, you know? If you want what you want, you got to put your money where your mouth is. And us at Beulah, we kind of all pitched in trying to get the music to a certain level. We got the Aquarian Super Kick on here, the Super Kick 1. We got the Aquarian on the other side. Yeah, and at first, when we just started, I was, shout out to my boy Sergio Aceto. We were big, we were getting Aquarian heads and stuff like that. And we don't change heads too often, as you can see. But we had a small piccolo too. We had an Aquarian head on that. So we were just kind of on that Aquarian wave until we got these donated by my boy Andrew Turner. And yeah, we was just like, yeah, we going to Evans. Now people tell me to go back to Remo, but my thing is, I've been playing Remo my whole life, and I don't really miss it. It's just that everyone else is playing Remo, you know? I don't really miss it. Like, my thing is, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Like, these sound good when it serves a purpose for what we need it for. So yeah. Oh yeah, this splash attachment here. We did all this stuff just took research, little things just to get it to, it's the small things, small accessories on drums that make them look professional. Then in cymbals. If you got good cymbals and good drum heads, it doesn't matter what kit you're playing. Like, this is alderwood. Like, who knows what alderwood is? Like, what? But yeah, good cymbals, good heads, and nice little attachments. If you need to mic the drums, you mic the drums. Don't spend a fortune. It's not a studio unless you're doing a live recording. And then in that case, you just rent them, you know. You know, you don't need to spend a fortune on this stuff. Like, it may look expensive, and yeah, to an extent it was, but it wasn't all at one time, and it wasn't nearly, it was nearly as expensive as it could be. Same thing with the boards, which is why we have these 2 boards. They're not new boards, they're just used good ones, but old. You know, so the hype is not always where it is, you know. And now for the organ. As you can see, let me say this first. We have this cutout here because when we have conferences and stuff, they're very well attended. A lot of people come out. So we just kind of change this area and put a whole bunch of chairs as an overflow section, you know. But this is the organ. It's an A100. I bought it. Shout out to my boy Timothy Smith. We bought it. My brother, he actually taught me how to play keys, and I'm forever grateful to that dude. But yeah, we bought this from him. You know, obviously it was scratched up, I guess, so they had to resurface it, repaint it with some like coarse, like a coarse paint or whatever it is. But it's an A100. There's no speaker in the bottom. You know, but who cares? Like, you usually use the Leslie. There is no reverb in it. And we use a Leslie 760. Man, this thing sounds great. Like, I don't know if people know about this thing, but it is amazing. Oh my God. It sounds more modern. It has wheels. It's just like... gig ready. It has the handles. It has all of that. Oh man, this thing punches. And like I said, we'll go over how to connect all of these things, and you know, probably instrument by instrument if people want. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. So pretty much, this is our setup right here. You know, this is our setup. We're a young ministry, but we're just trying to do things the right way and not compromise on standard. You know, so just let us know what you think. You know? Let the whole church say amen. Let the whole church say amen. I just caught a new wave.